The top floor of a Manhattan skyscraper looked like something out of a movie, glass walls glowing in the afternoon sun. A polished mahogany table big enough to seat 20 people, and a view of the city that screamed money and power. That's where Rebecca Hayes, the youngest CEO her company had ever had, was fighting for her career. 2 years of careful planning, 3 separate trips overseas, and millions of dollars on the line, all about to collapse because one simple thing had gone wrong. The translator was missing. Across the table sat Sheikh Kareem Al-Malik, a billionaire from the Middle East, with an empire stretching from real estate to tech. He wasn't just a man with money, he was a man raised in a culture where honor came first, where words mattered as much as numbers. And now, after minutes of silence and frantic whispers, Kareem's patience snapped. He stood up, his advisors gathering their papers. He spoke rapid Arabic, sharp and final, and Rebecca caught only one word finished. She tried to stop him, voice trembling just beneath the surface. "Please, Sheikh Kareem, give us 30 minutes. I'll find another interpreter." But his hand was already on the steel door handle, his eyes full of pity, disappointment in the end of everything she'd built. What happened next didn't come from her or from the men in suits scrambling for solutions. It came from a little girl sitting on the floor of the hallway with a book in her lap. Her name was Lily Morales, just 6 years old, waiting for her dad, the janitor who had been cleaning that building for years. She'd been humming quietly to herself until Kareem's angry words rolled out through the heavy door. Something about the sound pulled her to her feet. She walked into that boardroom like she had every right to be there, her curls bouncing her little dress slightly wrinkled from sitting on the carpet. She looked straight at the billionaire and spoke flawless Arabic, clear and calm. "Peace be upon you, honored uncle," she said. "Please forgive me for interrupting, but I heard you say trust is like glass. Once it breaks, it cannot be fixed. My mama used to tell me broken things can be made beautiful again, if we're brave enough to piece them back together." The room froze. Rebecca dropped her phone mid-dial. Kareem's advisors stared like they'd seen a ghost. Even the city noise outside seemed to hush for that one impossible moment. Seconds later, her father rushed in, still holding his mop face red with panic. "Lily, no. Come on, baby, we're leaving. Sorry, everyone." But Kareem raised his hand. His stern face softened. He knelt to her level, answering in Arabic, his voice gentler than anyone had ever heard in that room. "And peace be upon you, little one. Where did you learn our language?" Switching back to English for the Americans, then back again to Arabic for Kareem, Lily explained, "From books, from recordings. My dad says listening is how we learn hearts, not just words. I listened every night and Arabic sang to me in my dreams." Rebecca whispered in disbelief. She's translating perfectly." And just like that, the course of the meeting flipped upside down. Kareem returned to the table, motioning for everyone to sit again. He insisted the girls stay. "Sometimes," he said, "God sends the answer in unexpected packages." So there she was, perched on a chair too big for her tiny frame legs, swinging, translating complex terms like it was recess chatter. She didn't just trade words, she carried tone, context, humor. When Kareem cracked a joke about camels and venture capital, she laughed before translating, and her laugh made even the stiffest suits smile. Her dad, Daniel Morales, sat nearby, stiff as stone, ready to grab her and run. He wore the uniform of the invisible, the faded janitor shirt stained with bleach, calloused hands from years of scrubbing floors. He whispered to Rebecca, "She reads everything. Newspapers, old textbooks. She even found my college econ book I never finished. I didn't even know she'd gotten this good in Arabic. By the time the sun dipped toward the skyline, the deal was not just saved, It was stronger than ever. Kareem shook Rebecca's hand, then turned to Daniel and shook his too, looking him in the eye. You've raised a remarkable daughter. In my culture, children are flowers of paradise. Yours blooms with a rare fragrance. Daniel swallowed hard, his throat tight. Thank you, sir. She's all I've got. That night, Rebecca insisted they join her and Kareem for dinner. Daniel resisted. He didn't belong in crystal-lit restaurants with people like them. But Lily tugged at his sleeve, whispering, Daddy Mama always said we should help when we can. Dinner was a revelation. While Daniel stumbled over forks and glasses, Lily dazzled everyone with her curiosity. She asked Kareem about building skyscrapers on sand, about storms in the desert, about the music of poetry in Arabic. She even pulled out a notebook where she'd been practicing the script, decorating his name with flourishes she'd copied from Islamic art online. Over dessert, Rebecca asked gently, Tell me about her mother. Daniel's face shifted, softening with memories. Maria was a teacher. She believed every child had a light waiting to shine. When the cancer took her, she left recordings, bedtime stories, songs, lessons. Said knowledge would be Lily's inheritance better than money. Kareem listened, eyes glistening. He had lost a daughter once too. And in this little girl, he saw the ghost of what he had lost. For a moment, they weren't CEO, billionaire janitor, or prodigy. They were just people sitting together bound by grief and hope. But the world outside wasn't so kind. A week later, a gossip blog twisted the story. The headline screamed, Janitor uses child to con billionaire. Overnight, Daniel went from invisible to infamous. His supervisors questioned him. Co-workers whispered. Parents at Lily's school repeated the lies to their kids. Daniel told her, Maybe we shouldn't go to that museum event this weekend. Maybe it's better if we stay home. But Lily shook her head. You promised Daddy, and Mama said never to hide our light. That's fear talking, not wisdom. At the museum, the whispers followed them like shadows. Expensive suits eyed him like dirt under their shoes. Daniel wanted to vanish, but Kareem found them by the exhibit on ancient mathematics. He put a hand on Daniel's shoulder. In my country, we say the dogs bark, but the caravan moves on. Pay them no mind. Truth reveals itself. When the scheduled lecturer fell sick, Kareem shocked the crowd by asking Lily to join him on stage. Daniel tried to refuse, but Lily looked up at him with her mother's same fire. And so she stepped to the microphone, standing beside a billionaire. Her chin lifted. She began in Arabic. Language is not just words. It is a bridge between hearts, a light that shows us we are more alike than different. Then she switched to English. My daddy cleans buildings so I can have books. Knowledge doesn't care about money. It only cares about hunger to learn. If a janitor's daughter can help close a $40 million deal, maybe we need to stop deciding who matters based on job titles or bank accounts. For a moment, silence. Then thunderous applause. Professors, diplomats, even skeptics rising to their feet. Daniel stood there, tears running down his face as his little girl held the room in the palm of her hand. Kareem took the mic again. His voice trembled. I came here ready to walk away over a missing translator. Instead, I found something priceless. From this day, I'm establishing the Lily Morales Foundation to support children hungry for knowledge. And let it be clear, anyone slandering her father will answer to my lawyers. This man's integrity is worth more than their lies. Rebecca stepped forward too, her decision already made. As of Monday, Mr. Morales will serve as our new community outreach coordinator. We've overlooked talent in our own hallways for too long. This isn't charity, it's justice. Daniel stammered. I don't have a degree. You have what we need, she cut in. You know, dignity, perseverance, and hope. The rest you can learn. The weeks that followed transformed everything. The slanderous story was retracted. Daniel began his new role shaping programs that gave kids like Lily a chance. She started language classes, Arabic, Mandarin, French, all covered by scholarship. Rebecca became part of their Saturdays at the library, part of their Sunday dinners. And Kareem visited like a grandfather, teaching Lily poetry in Arabic, while she taught him American slang that made him laugh. 3 months later, they gathered at the harbor where Maria's ashes had been scattered. Kareem poured mint tea from a family heirloom teapot, steam rising into the autumn sky. "In my culture," he said softly, "we believe some meetings are written in the stars long before we're born." Lily, more confident now, answered in Arabic, then repeated in English. "Mama used to say, angels sometimes forget their wings and look like regular people. But if you pay attention, you can see them." She looked at her dad, at Rebecca, at Kareem. "I see family. Different kinds of family, but family nonetheless." They sat there as the sun dropped low, the city lights flickering on like earthbound stars. Daniel held his daughter close, realizing he wasn't just surviving anymore. He was building, thriving, proving that sometimes the most extraordinary changes come from the most ordinary people. Janitors, widowers, little girls with big dreams. And that night, as the tea grew cold, one truth lingered like a challenge. Maybe it's time we all stop deciding who matters by the suit they wear or the office they sit in. So what do you think? Was Daniel just lucky that day, or was society finally forced to see the value in someone it had ignored for too long? Have you ever witnessed a moment where the invisible proved more powerful than the so-called powerful? Tell me in the comments. I want to hear your stories.